Bob Dylan once unexpectedly showed up on Pawn Stars and even admitted he was a fan. Apart from instruments associated with iconic personalities from the world of rock music, Pawn Stars is also known to host legends from the industry. On the show, where Rick Harrison is often seen fanboying over musical memorabilia, veteran rock star Bob Dylan made an appearance. The musician himself contacted the producers through his manager, who said that Dylan likes the show very much, according to a Rolling Stone report. One of the pawn shop owners, Chumley, even got an autograph from the iconic rock star. But that's not all. Chumley and Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars also appeared in an interactive music video for Dylan's memorable 1965 hit, Like a Rolling Stone, according to a report in Mother Jones. They were part of a project where personalities from different channels were seen lip-syncing lyrics of the song. Apart from the pawn shop duo, The Price is Right host Drew Carey and rapper Danny Brown were among the celebrities featured in the video. The fascination of the hosts on Pawn Stars with rock music is also on display whenever an iconic guitar or any other instrument turns up in the shop. Not only are these instruments revealed to have a holy grail status, but Rick Harrison himself is seen fanboying over them. In an earlier episode of the show, a woman named Gabby brought in an ash-colored guitar. It was a Gibson, and it was the iconic Les Paul model. This one was special because it was custom-made, and it had the name DJ Ashba written on the headstock. DJ Ashba is considered one of the greatest classic rock guitar players of all time. He was a part of the band Six, and more popularly, of Guns N' Roses. He was one of the many who played with the band after Slash's departure. However, what made him stand out from most of the rest is the fact that he was one of the longest-serving guitarists the band had in the 21st century. This guitar was special, but neither Gabby nor Rick Harrison had a good idea how much it would be worth. The former said that she wanted to make $5,000 from it and donate the money to a children's hospital. Harrison wanted to be sure before he made any decision. Therefore, he decided to call in the one man who would know about the instruments better than anyone else. DJ Ashba shortly entered the store, and it seemed like he and Rick were close friends. It turns out that the guitar was something he had been looking for quite some time. Before making his appearance, the former GNR man said that he was hoping that the guitar was a particular one that he had lost many years ago, which meant the world to him could recognize this guitar a mile away. "This right here is the Holy Grail," he said. Ashba went on to reveal that this particular guitar was the only one of its kind in the world. It was a prototype made by Gibson, specifically for the guitar player after he had joined Guns N' Roses. The sound of the band required that distinct Gibson Les Paul tone, but Ashba had some issues with the placement and variety of the knobs on a regular one. Therefore, he had to get one custom-made that he felt more comfortable playing. The guitar that was brought to the store by Gabby was the prototype, and since then, there have been 100 of them made. The prototype, however, was one of a kind and had hundreds of memories as far as the guitarist was concerned. "I abused it. There's even still probably beer stains and stuff on it," he said. Ashba was willing to purchase the guitar himself from Harrison if the sale was made, which would take care of his reselling problem. He suggested that $20,000 would be a good price, and both parties agreed. Harrison even said that he wouldn't make any money off it since the amount from Ashba would serve as a donation to the children's hospital. Pawn Stars boss Rick Harrison pays big money for a guitar that is part of rock and roll history. Fans of Pawn Stars know how stingy Rick Harrison can be when he is negotiating a deal. But there are times when the celebrity pawn shop owner goes into fanboy mode for an item that's considered a holy grail. It happened when a rare piece of rock and roll history was brought into America's most famous pawn shop. when the guest named Landon brought a 1941 Gibson SJ200, which was once owned by the great American singer and songwriter Stephen Stills. He had almost everyone drooling. In the episode, Landon, a guitar collector, walked into the pawn shop with an old case with a historic guitar inside. So this is a 1941 Gibson SJ200. It was owned by Stephen Stills of the band Crosby, Stills, and Nash. He told Harrison, "I bought the guitar in an auction a few months ago. I was thrilled and a little bit terrified because it was expensive. But I'm looking to sell it today because that's kind of my hobby," he added. Harrison couldn't help but confess that he was amazed to see the guitar. Everyone who was around in the 60s knows of Stephen Stills. He's a guitar player who played for Buffalo Springfield. What it's worth, that was the name of the song. I mean, literally, it was considered the rebellion hippie anthem of the 1960s, Harrison said. He further explained that Stills went on to create Crosby, Stills, and Nash, and he is still playing to this day. "If he's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I'd be shocked," the host said. Landon then told Harrison that Stills was the first person to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice. He was inducted first for Buffalo Springfield, and then for Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young on the same day, he said. Landon further shared that he had all the documentation to prove that the guitar belonged to Stills. He added that the collector who bought the guitar from Stills also obtained a signed bill of sale. Harrison admitted that the bill added a bit to the item. "I love this guitar. It's really interesting. But I have to be careful. So if everything checks out, this thing could be a serious jackpot," he said. After Landon told Harrison that he was looking to get $110,000 for the guitar, the host called in his expert, Jess Amoroso, to authenticate the item. As soon as Amoroso walked in, he was taken aback by the sight of the guitar. "You do not see these. It's the 1941 SJ200. It was their highest-end guitar. They introduced this model in 1938, went to war, and they stopped making them," he explained before calling the item the Holy Grail. After playing some tunes on the instrument, Amoroso was convinced that it was the real deal. Despite the cracks and repairs, the expert believed that the guitar was worth $75,000 to $90,000 by itself, and the fact that it was owned by Stephen Stills added another $20,000 to $30,000 to its value. "This is the one. If you're going to buy one, this is the only one that's available," he told Harrison before leaving. Getting down to the negotiations, Landon seemed ever more confident about his ask of $110,000. However, being a businessman, Harrison first floated an offer of $80,000 to bring the ask down a bit. Landon countered with $90,000, and when Harrison didn't budge, the deal almost fell through. Before leaving, Landon asked for $85,000, and Harrison accepted. "All right, cool man, let's do some paperwork. You'll have cash, and I'll have a guitar I got to sell," Harrison told the guest, who later revealed that $85,000 was actually higher than his bottom line, so it wasn't only Harrison who hit